Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're going somewhere unexpected. We're diving into the world of plumbing.
Plumbing.
Plumbing. But here's the twist. Our source material, it's a YouTube video about learning English.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So get this. In this video, a woman calls a plumber to her house. Um, she describes it as like an old house that's falling apart. And a lot of those problems, it seems, are plumbing related.
Ah, I see. So right away we have this sense of urgency, maybe a little bit of like homeowner anxiety.
Exactly. And what's cool is throughout this whole scenario, the video introduces all this plumbing vocabulary. Like you'll hear clogged, plunger, blockage, faucet. It's like woven right into the dialogue.
That's a really fun way to learn.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like sneaking in a lesson. Now, the biggest plumbing problem this woman has, a clogged toilet, thanks to her 4-year-old daughter.
Oh, no. Been there.
Haven't we all? Apparently, the little girl likes to flush things down the toilet that, well, shouldn't be flushed.
It's you wonder what's going on in that plumbing system. What else might be causing these clogs?
Aside from curious kids, I mean.
Right. Well, there's the classics. Too much toilet paper.
Yeah.
Then you've got grease and hair building up and causing blockages.
I can see how that would happen.
Yeah, and then people flushing things that just don't belong. Wipes, feminine hygiene products, stuff that doesn't break down properly. It's a recipe for disaster.
And I noticed that in the video, the plumber, he doesn't just stop at fixing that one clog. He takes a look around and discovers the woman's pipes, they're all rusty.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, he even says they need to be replaced right away, like to prevent even bigger problems down the road.
Which brings us to the importance of plumbing maintenance. Something, I'll admit, most of us probably don't think about enough.
Definitely guilty of that. It's easy to ignore what you can't see, right?
Exactly. But think of it like a car. It needs regular tune-ups. Same goes for your home's plumbing system. Those rusty pipes, that's corrosion. It restricts water flow, and eventually you could have leaks or even bursts.
Yeah, not the kind of DIY project I'd want to deal with.
And speaking of projects, the plumber gives the woman a quote for all this work, $800.
Oh, wow. Her reaction is pretty funny. She's like, $800. That's more than I make in a day.
It is a lot. Makes you wonder what she does for a living.
Well, here comes the twist, because this woman is a heart surgeon.
What? A heart surgeon, making less in a day than this plumber.
Right. Makes you think.
It really challenges our assumptions about which professions are valued more. We tend to think high salary equals, specialized fields like medicine, but this video paints a different picture.
It does. I mean, why is there such a gap? Is it supply and demand, the skills involved, or is it more about how society views different types of work?
A question worth exploring for sure. I mean, why do we value certain professions more than others? What are the factors driving that? Is it about money, societal impact, or are there other influences at play?
It makes me think about that other point the YouTube video brought up, the growing shortage of skilled tradespeople.
Oh, absolutely. Huge demand for plumbers, electricians, carpenters,
Yeah.
yet not enough people going into these fields. Seems like a disconnect there.
There is. And that's actually what we're going to dive into next. We're going to take a closer look at this skilled trades gap. Why does it exist? And what does it mean for our society and economy as a whole?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. I think for a long time, the focus has really been on that 4-year college path. That's been seen as the key to success.
Yeah, good grades, good university, good job. That's the message we've all heard.
Exactly. And trade schools, apprenticeships, they kind of got pushed aside, seen as, I don't know, maybe less desirable.
Like in those old high school movies, right? The shop class was for the kids who weren't, quote unquote, college material.
Yeah, and that kind of thinking, it's still around. But think about it, skilled trades, they require a ton of knowledge. You got to be a problem solver. You got to be creative.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just about using your hands, it's about using your brain, too.
All right, plumbers, they need to understand these complex water systems.
Mhm.
Electricians, all that wiring.
Yeah.
Carpenters, building these structures. It's skilled labor, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And those skills are in high demand, too, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, actually, they project that employment in these fields is going to keep growing over the next decade. Steady growth.
So we have this growing demand, but not enough people going into these trades. What can we do to change that?
Well, for starters, we got to change the narrative. We got to start promoting these trades as real career paths. Show people that they can be successful, that the earning potential is there. Highlight how important they are to Well, everyone.
It's about changing perceptions, right?
Yeah,
Not just for young people, but for their parents, for educators, for society as a whole.
totally. And we need to invest in those vocational training programs, apprenticeships, make those opportunities accessible, make them appealing.
There are some cool initiatives out there already. Some high schools, they're actually partnering with local businesses to offer apprenticeships, so students get that hands-on experience and they're earning a paycheck while they learn.
That's awesome. And some states are even offering like tuition help or scholarships specifically for trade schools.
It's great to see that kind of support. This whole conversation, actually, it makes me think about a friend of mine. He went to a great university, got a degree in business, and ended up in this job he just hated.
Oh, I've heard that story before.
It's a common one, unfortunately. Anyway, he was feeling so stuck, just unfulfilled. Then one day he decided to take a woodworking class, just for fun. Well, he fell in love with it, like completely head over heels. He quit his corporate job and started his own furniture making business.
Wow. That's really inspiring. Shows you the power of finding that thing you're really passionate about.
It does. And it also shows that there are so many different paths to a fulfilling career. We sometimes get so caught up in what we think success looks like that we miss out on what might actually be a better fit.
Yeah, it's not always about the traditional path. And sometimes the best path takes you in a totally unexpected direction. Kind of like how we ended up talking about plumbing and skilled trades from an English learning YouTube video.
It's funny how these things connect, isn't it? But let's turn it over to you, the listener. What are your thoughts? Have you ever considered a career in the trades?
Or maybe you know someone who took, a left traditional path and found something they really love.
We'd love to hear your stories, share your perspectives, because often the best insights come from those personal experiences.
Exactly. So think about it. Have you ever felt drawn to a certain skill? Maybe you love tinkering with electronics or fixing things around the house.
Or maybe you're fascinated by construction or woodworking.
It doesn't matter what it is. Remember, there's value in all types of work. And as we've been talking about, the skilled trades. They offer a world of opportunity for those who are, well, willing to take a different road.
Yeah, they do. But let's get a little more practical for a second. Say someone is listening and thinking, hey, the trades actually sound pretty good. Where do they even begin? How do you explore those options? How do you even start looking into a career in the trades?
Well, I'd say start with research. Explore different trades. See what grabs your interest. What do you like to do? What are you good at? What kind of work environment, suits you?
Right, because plumbing or electrical, those are pretty broad, right? There's all sorts of specializations within each field.
Exactly. Once you've got some ideas, you can start checking out, vocational schools, apprenticeship programs in your area. Community colleges often have really good programs. And there's also those industry-specific apprenticeships, sometimes sponsored by unions or trade associations.
What about online resources? Are there any good websites for that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The U.S. Department of Labor, they have a great apprenticeship website, connects you with programs all over the country. And you can find a lot of info from, like, the professional organizations, too. The National Electrical Contractors Association or the Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Contractors Association, groups like that.
So once you've done the research, maybe found a program that seems like a good fit, what then?
Reach out. Talk to people who are actually doing the work. Most tradespeople, they're happy to share their experience, give you advice. And you can go to those industry events, trade shows, good way to network.
Makes sense. It's all about gathering information and then making an informed choice. This whole deep dive, it's really shown me how important it is to not underestimate those hands-on skills.
I agree.
Like in a world that's so focused on tech and automation, there's something really powerful about working with your hands, building something tangible, solving real-world problems.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a real sense of satisfaction you get from mastering a trade, using your head and your hands to make a difference. And like we said, these skills, they're not just valuable, they're essential. Our whole society depends on skilled tradespeople. They build our homes, keep our lights on, make sure we have running water.
It's easy to forget about those things, We take them for granted, but without skilled tradespeople, well, things would fall apart pretty quickly.
That's for sure. So, to wrap things up here, let's go back to where we started. We began with this English learning YouTube video about plumbing, and somehow we ended up exploring the whole world of skilled trades.
It's funny how these things connect. Started talking about clogged toilets and ended up discussing, the future of work and the importance of shifting perceptions.
It's all about being curious, exploring different ideas. You never know where a deep dive might take you.
That's the truth. So keep exploring, keep learning, and don't be afraid to think outside the box when it comes to your career.
And remember, no matter what you do, whether you're a heart surgeon, a plumber, a teacher, whatever it is, your skills and your contributions, they matter.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.